I know that I'm the guy for this organization and that I can do what it takes to help lead us where we want to go, and I'm confident in that. So we'll see.
Position, and we couldn't get it done. So we have to own that as a team. That's why we're 6-11. We have a high standard. We had high expectations. We fell short of that.
Incredibly hard. Yeah, very difficult. But I think I've been through adversity before like this, and it just doesn't make it easier. But that's life.
I know that Kyle and I are committed as we've ever been to doing just that, and we're excited about the work to do just that.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Ryan Teige. Need to jump on here and talk about what the hell went wrong with the San Francisco 49ers this season. Because this ain't the story we thought we'd be telling, but here we are. So with that being said, let's get into it, y'all. The 49ers kicked off the season with the highest of hopes. With another year full of dogs, a stacked roster, it was a season of Super Bowl or bust. As fans, we were ready to see the team finally dominate and close out the year hosting that Lombardi trophy. From the very offset, the season seemed cursed by misfortune. The story began when injuries hit the team like a truck. We knew going into the season that linebacker Dre Greenlaw, the heart and soul, the defensive tone center, would miss significant time with his Achilles injury last year in the Super Bowl. However, no one knew that that was just the beginning of an injury bug that ravaged through the 49ers building, and it started in week 1 when it came out of left field that
there's some pretty stunning news that just broke moments ago. I'll let you share it with our viewers.
Well, Scott, the 49ers listed their inactives moments ago, and 49ers standout running back Christian McCaffrey is out tonight. He's not going to be active. Came out, did not feel right with the calf, the Achilles. It's been an issue. He was limited in practice last week. The 49ers listed him as questionable. They thought he was going to be able to play. He expressed confidence that he was going to be able to play. People thought it would be a full workload for Christian McCaffrey, but today it just didn't feel right.
And then, of course, there was Brandon Aiyuk, 49ers wide receiver 1, the route running savant, the answer to beating man coverage that we all know the 49ers have been struggling with, which clearly showed up in the Super Bowl of 2023 season versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, Brandon Aiyuk tore both his ACL and MCL right in the middle of the season in week 7, playing against none other the Kansas City Chiefs. It was announced just hours after that he would miss the remaining season, and this was after all his very public contract drama and negotiation for a deal that ultimately got done. Then there was the defense. Once a fortress in recent years, was significantly weakened by Javon Hargrave as his season ended prematurely with the torn tricep. And hell, that's not even the worst. The team had a healthy player quit mid-game with Devondre Campbell's famous walk-off when he got upset that Dre Greenlaw got inserted back into the lineup late in the season. He ultimately decided to leave the team.
Campbell, he didn't play and he went into the locker room at some point.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to play today.
Has that ever happened to you where a player said they didn't want to play in a game?
No.
Then to top it all off, the team's first-round draft pick, Ricky Pearsall, got shot in a robbery. I mean, come on, who could have seen that coming? It was an insane event that not only put him on the non-football injury list prior to the season starting, this clearly casted a shadow over the team's morale. And this was just only one of a few of the much larger number of star players who missed significant time. It was like the injury list was longer than their playoff chances. But let's be real, all teams battle injuries, but this was just the tip of the iceberg for the 49ers this season. Let's talk about defense. As the season unfolded, the 49ers struggled to find their footing. The defense, or what was supposed to be their defense, was inconsistent, ranking 24th in third down stops and basically dead last in red zone by allowing touchdowns. 68.4% of the time inside their own 20-yard line, the 49ers defense gave up a touchdown. It wasn't good and was in stark contrast from what we're used to seeing the past few seasons. The defensive lapses was not just about injuries. It was a sign of deeper issues, strategy, execution, and scheme, making them predictable to the opposing offenses. And what was their strategy to fix it? Keep it status quo with their 4-3 scheme and pedestrian play calls. Instead of being creative to dial up pressure, they didn't do much of anything. They didn't bring the heat. They didn't adjust. And they ended up giving up 25.6 points per game, ranking them 4th in points allowed in the NFL on defense, while also remaining one of the lowest blitz-rated teams. When your defense is predictable, it's less effective. And what that leads to is less turnovers. After the Week 9 bye, which historically the 49ers have been dominant, the 49ers defensive unit only had 2 turnovers in 8 games, while in contrast, the 49ers offense gave the ball away 15 times. The 49ers finished with 11 total turnovers, equating to 50% drop from their prior 2023 season when they were among top defensive in terms of turnovers with 22. It wasn't the 49ers defense we knew, which is why we have already started to see immediate changes with Kyle Shanahan and General Manager John Lynch relieving first-time defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen from his duties. But the defense, let's be clear, doesn't take all the blame. Football has 3 phases, and the opposite side of the ball, the offense, did them no favors. On the offense, where do we start? They look good 1 minute, then choke in the clutch by their inability to finish games. The team had a knack for leading by double digits in the fourth quarter to collapse spectacularly. They recorded 3 divisional losses when leading in the final 2 minutes, a record since the 1970 merger, showcasing a failure to close out games against rivals like the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. Brock Purdy, who was lighting up the league last year, threw 12 picks in 15 games this season. Only George Kittle hit the 1,000-yard receiving mark. If you were to look at the offensive metrics, though, it wasn't all bad. The 49ers, they could move the ball. They finished 4th in the NFL with yards per game at 376, but middle in the pack in putting up points. How? Because they couldn't convert in the red zone, leaving Jake Moody to kick field goals in hopes that they would be able to put up at least 3 points on the drive. But that's easier said than done. Speaking of Jake Moody, special teams were a special kind of disaster. Jake Moody finished the year missing 10 field goals, 30 points. Only having a 70% field goal percentage would put him at the bottom 6 of all NFL kickers. The unit as a whole was the league's worst, literally. This was evident in games where special teams blunders directly led to losses, with pump blocks, 4th down conversions, coverage issue, highlighting the lack of depth and preparation in critical aspects of the game led by now former special teams coordinator Brian Schneider. This wasn't just a bad year, it was like watching a horror movie where every scene gets worse than the last. And then we talk about coaching. Kyle Shanahan, who gets a lot of respect around the NFL, he needed to do more. With all their injuries, they needed adjustments, and we just didn't see them. Late game collapses, penalties, it all points to the coaching staff that struggled to adapt. Maybe it's the turnovers, losing key players, losing key coaches to other teams, but something was off with the team as a whole from the very jump of the season. So the 49ers wrapped up the season with a gut-wrenching, disgusting 6-11 record, last in the NFC West. Following their Week 18 blowout versus the Arizona Cardinals, it was reported the locker room was silent because there was nothing to say. A season that promised so much but delivered so little. But here's the thing, every season is a lesson, and this one was a big one. You can expect they'll learn, adapt, and come back even stronger into the 2025 NFL season. Let me know in the comments what you think the 49ers' biggest issues were this past season, and will the 49ers come back stronger than ever heading into 2025? So I'll be back, but until my next video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Hit me up. Peace.